All right, what's up, everyone? It's been a few days. What's up, Jazz Egg? How you doing? You got your first shiny costume, holiday pseudo Wudo. Yo, dude, I will say they did a great job with that. I think the costumes are actually quite good. Also, if my music's too loud, just let me know. But okay, we have a Master League tier list for PvP, obviously, and I'm gonna do like one set of battles first, and then we'll get into it. I've actually been really enjoying Shadow Tyranitar in Master League. I played one set with it, and I got myself a 5-0. So, is it good? It might be. It really might be. Yeah, we're going to do this Rocket Grunt real quick, and then we'll get into it. But hope everyone's doing well. I'll do, like, a full set of Shout out Tyranitar tomorrow. I just don't have time today because I have some plans tonight. But we will do... I'll showcase some battles, right? We'll do like 5 battles or so, and then we'll get into the tier list and go from there. Master League tiers, I feel like, should probably be my most reliable tier list because a lot of the things are pretty set in stone. There's just not a lot of like alternate picks that could really do well because you're just missing a lot of stat product, right? If it ever comes to that. So yeah, but we'll see how it goes. I do actually really enjoy Master League this season. I think it's probably my favorite league of the 3. Great League's always kind of a mixed bag because you just don't have enough bulk to really flip matchups. So that is always kind of a slight issue. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And, oh, what's up, Chegs? The cat is here. I'm not really sure what she's doing. She's just walking circles around, trying to find a little comfy place in her bed. You comfy? She didn't say yes or no, so we'll take it as a potential yes. But yeah, shout out to Tyranitar. I think it's really hard to build around for Master League. But, so you're going to be ABA weak to like almost at something. Like, if you go Steel in the lead, you're really weak to Water. If you go Poison in the lead, you're really weak to Ground. There's not also just not really any good poisons in Master League for what it's worth. So that is another problem. But I do think it's actually quite solid. And hopefully my one set where I play with it is not just like a fluke set. Because I did theoretically only play one set with this. So there's a chance that maybe it's not as good as I think it is. But that being said, we'll get into it and see kind of how this goes. All right. Let's take out this. And, well, this should almost take it out. And then we'll get into the battles. But I hope everyone's having a good holiday season. I think part 1 of the holiday event is, like, okay. I don't think it's bad. But part 2 should be really good. Because Colossal is going to be a new Pokemon. As well as, what was it called? Torkoal? No, it's not Torkoal. Anyway, it's going to be a new, like, really strong Great League and Ultra League Pokemon in... coming out that's rock and fire type, and I think it could be really, really solid. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But all right, we're gonna catch this shiny or the shadow Wobbuffet, and let's get into the battles. Let me set up my best buddy Pokemon. I think I have ran a Metagross as my best buddy last time, so we'll do that. Let's swap over to the Metagross. All right, there we go. All right, who's ready for some Master League Shadow Tyranitar action? I will say, not the cheapest team to use, because obviously not everyone has Shadow Tyranitar with good IVs. But if you do have one, it could be a good option. Let me set the Metagross. I'm just doing some buddy stuff. All right, let's get into it. We'll do one set, and then we'll hop straight into the tier list. I know people were asking for Master League tier list. Today's going to be a Master League tier list, but it's not going to include Megas. I will do a separate tier list for Megas, for those who are curious, because the Mega Master League is like a very different meta. And it's only comes like once every like season or so usually, or less than that even. So I don't want to harp too much on that. But he's stuck in some queue times? That's not good. We'll see. Hopefully we can find some battles here. But things to look forward to in this tier list. I will say, as a spoiler, Mewtwo's pretty irrelevant these days. It just kind of got power crept. Mewtwo never really got nerfed by anything. It actually got a buff with the confusion buff, but it's just there's just too many Steel, Ghost, Dark types that are just really strong in this meta, and it's just not really worth it to run it. There's not really too many targets either, and yeah, Dark, Ghost, Steel, they're just way too common, and you just don't really hit hard enough for coverage. Okay, we get a battle. Nice. Master League. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Shadow Tyranitar is okay. Bad lead, but let's swap out and see what we can do here. I was going to swap right away. I don't really feel like damage transferring. I don't want to give the hoe more energy than it needs to. They're probably going to throw a move and dip. Okay. We're going to have to shield this. It's going to be a Sacred Fire, but that's okay. Hopefully we just don't get debuffed, but there's always a chance. We can usually grab a shield back, though. Oh, they went Brave Bird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is actually not that bad of a matchup. And we draw this out. So the Tyranitar's a little bit more free in the back. We might be potentially hard countered here, though. Oh, they shield, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't really go shieldless here, so let's just shield this up and see what we can... Or let's just let this go. I'm surprised they shielded that, though. Because this is not really going to do that much for me. To me, I should say. Okay, we're going to overfarm here by quite a bit. Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah. 1, 2. Whoa, okay, that's not what I expected. Yeah, yeah, you're right. There's no way it could have been a Sacred Fire. Okay, that's good. Really good. I'm just going to go for the Meteor Mash. Just do some damage here. If they shield this, we could potentially sweep with the Tyranitar. If they don't shield it, then that's also not terrible for me. Oh, they don't shield, really. Okay, that's fine. We just go with the... I don't love the position I'm in, but we'll see what we can do. We go close combat. We Dragon Breath this down. I'm going to have to bait this Primarina. It's going to do a good chunk of damage, but it could be worse, I guess. 3. Okay, I have to shield here. They don't really have energy on the Ho-Oh, at least. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wow. They actually caught. That's really bad for me. Yeah, that's a good catch. I mean, I was pretty hard counter this game, but it's not ideal. Okay. I doubt they shield this. Yeah, we lose this. That's a great catch. But I think I probably lose even if they don't catch, for what it's worth. Oh, wait, really? That's kind of weird. So they just want to get the move off. They force my energy out, at least. That's not enough to KO. Yeah, catching there is unfortunate. Oh, yeah, it's not enough, yeah. GG. We take our first loss for Shadow Tyranitar. Massively, but it is what it is. Yeah. It was a smart pivot out by them, but they just hard countered me anyway, so they made it more difficult than it probably needed to be. I'm trying to think what they thought was in the back, where they needed the... I guess, like, a Palkia gets pretty annoying, so it's a smart pivot by them. Just in case, right? I needed them to shield. Unfortunately, them not shielding there was what made things a little tougher. Because if they shielded that potential Meteor Mash, and I could have done something there, but it's all good. All right, let's see what we can do here. Okay, bad lead, but it's not unplayable. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really bad for them. This is not an answer to Kiram. This is not an answer at all. Because, yeah, this is just not an answer. Let's see what they do here. But I can flip switch pretty easily. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty good for me. If I get Tyranitar on the... Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I get Tyranitar onto the Giratina, it's really, really nice. I could probably 2-shield through this. I don't know if it's worth it. I think it's probably worth it. Okay, this is actually... Should we just let this go? I think letting this go is actually not a bad idea. I think it might be actually okay. Okay. Really? Oh, they're just going to farm me down. Okay. Tyranitar on the back. If they have a, like a Kyogre or like a Groudon, I'm probably... Or not Groudon. Like a Rhyperior, I'm probably cooked. But let's see what happens. Okay, that's really good. They come in Giratina. I come in Tyranitar. We probably no shield. There's a chance it's Dragon Pulse, but it doesn't KO me. Oh my gosh, we're getting hard countered. Not ideal. Okay, I'm gonna... I have to shield because Behemoth Bash. Alright, this is not ideal, but it is what it is. Yeah, I guess I should have tried to flip switch, but I couldn't even actually because they just shielded and farmed me down, right? So I don't think it matters too much there. All right, is there a chance? Let's see how much this does. Oh my gosh, I forgot it's double resisted. Yeah, we lose this. We definitely lose this here. Unless... I completely forgot. That is not the play. At all. Okay, yeah, no, we lose. Yeah, I forgot about the double resistance. I was like, why did that do so little damage? But them farming me down was the right call. For science, let's see how much this does. I'm curious, but we don't win this either way. I need to just spam the brutal swing, but I still get farmed down, right? And get taken out from the guillotine. Oh, it's actually not a bad amount of damage, but yeah, they had energy. GG's. We can only do so much. New to Great League. Do you have top 10? Yeah, so check out this website called PvPoke. PvPoke.com. It actually creates like actual rankings based on simulations. So they're not like subjective. They're literally based on actual simulations. So definitely check that out. Yeah, if you're curious, because that'll be pretty important if you're looking to see how much, what's good and what's not in every league. All right. Let's keep it rolling a bit. Yeah, these, I think there's a chance too my opponents are just harder than they were because I did climb a lot after my 5-0 last set. So one more time. Yeah, here. Just type this in. Copy and paste this. This website breaks out all the rankings of all the leagues and all the what do you call it, the other stuff too. So, hey, what's up, Knight? Shry, hope you're doing well. It's a pretty bad lead for me, but we just need to stay in and see what we can do. I'm just gonna go Earthquake. It's the right call, I think. Do we just put everything on Tyranitar? It seems like kind of a bad idea, but let's see if they shield this or not. They don't? Wow. Okay, they don't shield it at all. Interesting. I think I just hard pivot over to Kyurem right now, if it doesn't KO me. Nice. Okay. Okay. I feel like it's an Aqua Jet. I'm a shield. Yeah, it is. Unfortunate, but it's not the end of it. 1, 2, 5, 6. Okay, I'm just going to full send it. Because my Tyranitar resists this stuff at least, so I have that going for me. I think they're a little bit weak to Metagross in the back, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We resist everything on Tyranitar at least. If they Brave Bird me, it's actually not too bad, but it's probably Sacred Fire. Yeah. Kind of have to let this go. We're getting kind of cooked here in our matchups, but Brave Bird, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, they're actually just... It's actually kind of a bad play by them. They're double strong into the Metagross in the back. They should have swapped out. Okay. We have the shield here. Are they 2 away from the Brave Bird? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll just overfarm a little bit. It's kind of dicey here, honestly. The Urshifu has a little bit of health left. Do they come in with it and try to counter me down? It's going to be... If they do... Oh, wait. No, they don't. Okay, that's kind of good. It's not enough, though. I think I need to go Metagross right away here. Nah, this is not good at all. Nah, GG's. Yeah, they were triple strong to Metagross, which made things a little bit harder, but happens. Yeah, I think so. Even though they won the game, they didn't play it well, right? Because they're double strong to Metagross. They're triple strong to Metagross. You swap to one of your flyers. You need to draw any potential steal. If I have like a Zacian, or no, Zacian's fine. If I have like a, I don't know, like a Tyranitar in the back, right? You can potentially just lose that. Okay, this is not great, but we'll swap. It's Dragon Tail at least, so we have that going for us. Okay, we get to this. Going to have to shield the Precipice Blades. They might shield this, though. Groudon's not amazing in this meta, but it is pretty good into his team. What? That's kind of weird. Why is there no region in Nepal? What do you mean by there's no region? What do you mean by region specifically? Like, what do you mean? Like, what specific do you mean by region? It's in the Asia region, right? You mean like regionals, like tournament wise? Frozen jar, okay. While making train club, there's no country in Nepal. Oh, I honestly don't know. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. Are you allowed to play in Nepal? Like, is there like points of interest and spawn points or no? So I think that's a bigger question, right? Okay, we have to shield this. What's up, Zayden? All right, great bird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is this like the same team as before? What if it's the same player? It would suck if it is, but is this a guy with the Zamazenta? I think they're playing it out exactly the same way. Wait, they get debuffed though. Oh wait, that's really good for me. We get both off. It's actually huge because now we can just farm down. Go on to commit energy. That's really good for me actually. Whoa, what the heck? Okay, that's great actually. We're on even shield, so it's not amazing, but could be worse, I guess. I don't know. Are you from Nepal? Nice try. I would assume so, right? If you're asking the question, but oh, okay, there we go. Ooh, okay. This is playable. It's not great, but it's playable. This is not good. This Iron Head does way too much, yeah. We're getting hard countered like crazy today. Okay, so what happens if you make another region? Like, you know other players from Nepal that play? Or like you've been playing in Nepal? Like, there's points of interest, right? Because I think that's the real question here. Okay. I think they outpaced me, right? Ironhead they get to Ironhead pretty quickly. Let's see what they do here. The shield. Can I get to it? Oh, wait, hold on. I think I can swap over. If I can swap over, that's really nice. If I can't swap over, then we're kind of in a bad spot. So I need to be able to farm down and get to a brutal swing. Oh, we take it out? Oh, that's huge. Okay, I throw here. I think there's a charge like priority, which is really massive for me, because then I can throw the move. Wait, that's huge. The fact that I was able to beat the Dialga like that. Oh, yes, sir. Okay, now we swap over. And we should be able to get to a meteor match before they get to another move. They went Sacred Fire too. That's really good, because now they're 1, 2. Nice. Beautiful. Hard countered, but no problem. Getting both of those moves off was pretty nice for my Karen White. All right, we go 2-3. Nothing crazy. Probably could have won at least like one of those games. Maybe it's kind of tough. I don't know. Yeah, but that's okay. All right, we're still doing okay, elo wise. All right, let's get into the tier list because I do think there's stuff to cover. So drop your own takes down below if you have any takes on the tier list. But let me swap over everything over here. And this is, of course, the Master League tier list. So keep that in mind. And here we have it here. Why does this look kind of weird? Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so this is going to be my Precious Season or Precious Paths Master League tier list. Hey, thank you, Zayden, for the heart. We appreciate it. So obviously, if you are invested in Master League or want to see what's worth making, then this will be what I'm covering. I'm covering mostly everything that's relevant. I didn't take every single thing on the top 50, but most things in the top 50 of the meta, as well as all the things that were recently changed. Those are the ones you see in the circles. So obviously, a lot of things are not relevant in Master League, like Delmise or Blaziken and stuff like that. So I only include the ones that are like maybe slightly relevant. Regidrago, we'll start with that one. It's not the best because if the main thing is like the CP is just not high enough, right? 3,300, 61. It's not very good. We'll put it in probably really bad territory. I think like you could definitely find some wins against certain things, but it's pretty bad. It only has 8 wins, right? It's not completely useless, but it's not that. Bro, just play the game. Dude, I'm doing the tier list. You gotta read the title, man. I play the game plenty, but today we are doing a tier list for all those that are looking for it. It's okay if you don't want to stay for that. That's all good. All right. Suicune is actually ranked a lot higher than the Regidrago, but I don't think it's amazing. It does have decent matchups against a lot of the Master League Pokemon just because that's a pure water type. It has coverage. Yo, what's up, Kaiju? But yeah, but I would probably still put it in the bad category. It's just not really usable in general. I think most of these probably aren't. Another one that is probably okay is Ursa Luna. 96 overall, tackle, swift, high horsepower. It's okay. It's not great, but it's not like unusable in this meta. There's a couple ghost types. You have win conditions against some of the fairies and such like that, but they're just generally speaking, ground types are a little bit hard to use in this current meta, so I probably wouldn't put it that high up. There's just a lot of things that could hit back pretty hard, and a lot of the ground types just kind of got power crept. Therian Landers probably would have been the best one, but once they nerfed Sandsear Storm, it just is not as good. So Titan obviously got buffed in major ways. How would you fix Darkrai? Does it need fixing? I think the typing is just too one-dimensional. Its moves aren't as good, you know. And another difficulty is it's a mythical, so yeah, my cat's just chilling. All right. Anyway, so it's a Titan. 122 overall, Powder Snow, Avalanche, Super Power. It has okay coverage, right? Obviously, into Dragons, it's okay, but as a pure Ice type, it doesn't really resist much outside of opposing Ice, right? And does it resist anything else besides Ice? Ice just resists Ice, right? Is there anything else that even resists? I don't think so. It's not great. I put it in the probably bad category as well. Yes, you could beat some of the Dragons, but overall, you're just a little bit too weak to too many things. So I'm actually going to put it in the bad category. I don't think it's very reliable, generally speaking. There's not enough ground types for it to cover, and there's not a lot of pure flying types, you know, so. And a lot of things hit back pretty hard. Like, it just doesn't have any great resistances. Hydreigon is ranked 37 overall as a Shadow, but how many of you have 100% or close to 100% Shadow Hydreigon? Not enough. Not enough. But the non-Shadow is 78 overall. Dragon Breath, Brutal Swing, Flash Cannon. It's okay. It's just a little too frail. It's Dark Dragons is an okay typing, but there's not that many ghosts. There's a couple ghosts here or there, but a lot of the ghosts can hit back, right? Lunala being the most prominent one. Double Super Effective Moonblast is still not great for it. So we'll put it there. And then we got Kyogre, which was always a staple and still definitely is. Waterfall, Avalanche, Origin Pulse. Avalanche is nice, but I think because you have Avalanche, you probably drop Surf so that you run Origin Pulse. However, if you don't land the Origin Pulse into the Steel types and the Crown forms, then that's kind of disastrous. So you kind of need Surf in some ways as well. You could run Surf Avalanche, but Origin Pulse Avalanche gives you is ranked 23 overall. 99th overall is Avalanche and Surf. Oh, that's the Shadow though, I guess. But yeah, I've been messing around with a little bit Origin Pulse here or there. I think it's actually quite good. I definitely put it in the meta category. You could argue maybe even higher than that. It beats the Crown forms. It beats Ho-Oh. It's definitely weak to Dragons, but it's very, very solid still. Do I prefer Mega Master League or the one with no legendaries? I think both are fun. Both are a lot of fun. It's just I think like Mega Master League will get old after a while. I like it once in a while, but there's just so many things you can't legitimately use in Mega Master League because the Megas are like so power crept that like there's only so many things. Do you think Bone Punch Metagross is good? Not really. So against the fairies, you pretty much don't need it. And against the strongest fairy in Master League, which is Crown Form Zacian, you're doing only neutral damage. So it's better off just doing the Shadow Claw because you generate energy a little bit faster. Hey, Almond, thank you for the heart me. Yeah. So I personally wouldn't. I think maybe in Master League Premier it's a different story, but Open Master League, not the case. Not the case, yeah. Okay, Kartana. 72 overall. It's so frail. It's not it. It's definitely not it. Fury Cutter, Leaf Blade, Sacred Sword. You lose to Palkia Origin. As a Pokemon that resists all the moves from Palkia, you still lose. Yeah, it's just not good. It's just not good. It's pretty bad, honestly. I think it's way too frail. I don't even know if I put in hot garbage territory though, because it still has a little bit of play here or there, but it's not good. There's just not enough ground types either. So yeah, I think we'll honestly just put in hot garbage. It's just too frail for my liking. Hey, what's up? Thank you for the exclusive emojis, Almond, and the book go popular. All right, and then we got ourselves Tyranitar. I think you can make the argument that Regidrago is also in hot garbage territory, but I think in some ways it's a little bit usable, just not many ways. You ready to see Jake Paul get KO'd? Dude, I was going to tune into that Kaiju. Yeah, I'm glad that they're starting that fight on the later side. Last time I tuned in was Woodley and what's his name? The other guy, the other ex-UFC fighter. But okay, but yeah, T-Char, I was just using it myself. It's really solid. It's a lot better than I thought it would be, especially the Shadow, but the non-Shadow is pretty good too. 41 overall with the Shadow, 58 overall with the non-Shadow. It's quite nice. It's quite nice. Is it really good? Is a different story. I think I would still put it in the fringe meta category because it's hard to build around and there's a lot of things that beat it and it's still pretty frail, but it is actually fairly reliable still though. I might be convinced to move it to meta. I don't know if meta is like a little tough to sell. Like stuff like Kyogre's in meta, right? But you don't need a Leaf Fast TM for a Shadow Call, so you're fine on that. Wait, no. I think you do. Actually, I think you do. Wait, let me double check real quick. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I think you do. Because I think, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do need one. So save your fast TMs and just use the Elite TM. That's what I had to do too. I mean, honestly, you'll have to use the Elite TM somehow, right? Because if you evolve it to have Shadow Call, you won't have Meteor Mash. You have to use the Elite Charge TM. I'd much rather use the Elite Fast TM because there's less things to Elite Fast TM than Elite Charge TM in my mind. So that are relevant at least. Yeah, Tyranitar, I would put it in the fringe meta. I think it's quite solid. All right, let's talk about the other things in the meta that are really, really solid, because let's just go down the list, right? From top to bottom here. Which would be better, 15, 13, 15, Shadow T-Char or 4-star? 4-star non-Shadow? I would run the 15, 13, 15 Shadow. Yeah, the Shadow is really nice. I mean, I don't know if you saw from a couple minutes ago, but I just beat Dialga in the one shield with the Shadow because the Brutal Swing damage is so nice. And like, it doesn't matter if I like, because the non-Shadow, it doesn't do enough damage, right? As long as I don't get hit by Iron Head, I'm good. And the only way you can avoid that is if you have the damage from the Shadow, right? The extra Dragon Breath damage against the Shadow Tyranitar is not that bad. Yeah, that's a really nice Shadow Tyranitar. Mine is a 15, 14, 14. It's not even 100%. It's still worth it. Okay. Let's look at things at the top of the meta. S tier, I think Crown Form Zacian is still pretty high up there, so we're going to have to put that up there. Palkia Origin, still very high up there as well. I would probably put that here. It still has a lot of flexibility. It's still S tier in my mind. Metagross is third overall. I actually don't think it's that good, though. I put it somewhere around here. I think it's Sims well, because there's a lot of fairies really high up in steel types, but like, there's a lot of bad matchups that like you don't fully appreciate. Xerneas as well, I think it's like really solid, and especially into the dragons, but the Geomancy buff is nice for it. However, I don't think it's enough to put into S tier, right? You just can't contend with something like a Zacian, right? Zacian is like a whole nother level of beast. You also got the 15, 14, 14. Yo, let's go. I don't know if you invested or not, but I do think it's worth it if you have some extra XL candies. And doesn't Cardinal win a lot of matches on 2 shields? How's it that bad? It's too frail. You don't beat... Okay, like I talked about this earlier. You don't beat Palkia Origin when Palkia Origin's throwing only resistant moves at it. That's a big problem. If you resist every single move from the incoming Pokemon and you still lose, that's not great. And if you have to spend both shields... Spending both shields in Master League is definitely a thing you can do. But because there's so many Pokemon Master League that have heavy hard-hitting signature moves, if you go down both shields that early, you just get exposed to, like, you know, Ice Burn, Free Shock, Behemoth Blade, like all these hard-hitting moves that one-shot a lot of things, right? Yeah. You know doctor yet? What does that mean? Well, I don't plan on being a doctor. My dad's a doctor. If you need a doctor, there's another Dr. Peng, but it's not me. Okay, Zamazenta Crown form is ranked 5th overall. I don't think it's that good, mainly because, you know, there's a lot of things that can still counter it, particularly in the meta. I think it's solid, though. I'll put it in the A tier, but I don't think it's as good as Zacian, even though it's still in the top 5 rankings. Kieran White, though, I think is actually really solid. Kieran White has really great coverage, and it has coverage into the fairies. I think it's actually one of the strongest Pokemon in the meta, in my mind. It can even, like, straight up into 2 shields beat Palkia, just going straight Fusion Flare if you, like, don't ban. Am I on Twitch? I'm on YouTube right now. Here, I'll type in my YouTube. I mean, I have a Twitch account, but I haven't really streamed on Twitch in a while. I'll plug my respective channels for anyone that wants to see it. I'm on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Yeah, I'm not going to really stream on 3 platforms at once. That's just, like, a lot too much. But here is my YouTube channel for anyone that's on TikTok, and here is my TikTok channel for anyone that's on YouTube. Too broke to max it out? Yeah, no worries. Hopefully, I'm making a video later tomorrow on Shadow Tyranitar in Master League, or in all the leagues, so maybe I convince you, then you might make the jump one day once you have the resources. But I do think it's actually a really fun Pokemon Master League to have, especially if you have a good IV spread one, right? Dialga Origin is 7th overall. I actually think this is actually pretty solid right now, too. It's got great coverage. I wouldn't put it as the same realm as Palkia, because there's some matchups that just, like, feel completely awful for the Dialga. But I do think it's really solid. Getting quickly to the moves is pretty nuts, too, right? Getting quickly to the Draco Meteor, to Thunder, if you run that instead, is all really, really solid. I do think it's actually a really strong Pokemon still. But at the same time, too, because it's Steel and Dragon, it's, you know, it's a little bit trickier, right? Because you take a lot of neutral damage from the fire moves, from, like, Reshiram and Kieran White. So that is definitely a limiting factor from Dialga Origin. All right, Reshiram in general, I think is actually really solid too. I would put it even, like, Reshiram, especially with Stone Edge, is really strong. It's quite strong, actually. I put it somewhere around here. I actually like it a lot. I haven't run it too much myself. It's running Draco Meteor on PB Poke, but I think Stone Edge actually makes it really, really strong. Lunala, also very, very strong. It's super safe. I would put it maybe even here. Maybe before this. It's a super safe Pokemon. You have coverage for the Dark types. There's not really anything that resists Ghost and Fairy typing that's relevant in Master League. So you have something to hit back at literally everything. It's I don't know if it has a safe swap, but it's a really strong lead too, right? Because a lot of things can't really safe swap into it without shielding. Zekrom, also kind of in a similar vein as Reshiram. I wouldn't say as good as Reshiram, but still very, very good. I'll put it right here. It's not as safe, but I think it's kind of nice. Kieran Black. I do think Kieran Black is strong too. Not as strong as these other picks, but I do think it's strong. It just, like, kind of struggles in the sense that it kind of has to land its dragon moves, whereas the Fusion Flare is really good into some of the dragons. So you don't actually have to go for that. What's up, Feachex? Hope you're doing well. Welcome into my tier list stream. Shadow Magneros is at number 12. I went on a 21 win streak with Xerneas, Reshiram, Shadow Ho. Yo, that's crazy. Wait, what IVs is your Shadow Ho? Because that's definitely, you know, a very limiting aspect that a lot of people can't use, but I think it's actually quite cool. Okay, Shadow Palkia is at 14th overall. This is the non-origin form, just the altered form. Kieran White's a good safe swap. Yeah, Kieran White is very, very strong. Kieran Black doesn't feel as strong, but it's still strong. Just not, like, S tier in my mind. Palkia for the shadow form. I mean, like, it's a shadow form, right? The non-shadow is 24th overall. I don't think a lot of people have this as a shadow form in general. It's just like it's a worse Palkia origin in my mind. You know, whoops, I put the wrong thing down. So I'll put it in fringe meta, but I don't think it's that good. You know, it's not like you can't find wins with it. It's just not as good. Eternatus is, I would put on the more fringe meta side of things too. It's okay. I think it is limited by some of its coverage and stuff. And then also, if you run Flamethrower with Dynamax Cannon, you're just so walled off from Pre-Arena. But if you run Sludge Bomb, it's not great because you're still throwing resistant moves at the Zacian, right? So, yeah. And then this is really bad in a Xerneas meta right now. It's not. It just doesn't do enough. So, where would I put Groudon? Oh, I'll put Groudon actually right now if you're curious. So, Groudon is ranked 20th overall. It's probably fringe meta at best. Dragon Tail is nice, especially with the energy generation and Precipice Blades, but There's just too many things that like have play into it. And honestly, I think Rhyperior is probably better than it because Rhyperior, you at least have fast side pressure. If you don't land the Precipice Blades, it's pretty bad, right? Like if you don't land a Precipice Blades onto something like a Zekrom, you have to shield the Outrage. You have to shield the, you know, the potential Ice Burn from Reshiram, from Kieran Black, you know, the Fusion Flare does a good chunk. Yeah, it's a little bit outclassed. Hey, what's up, Brew Valor? Yeah. No Heatran option is weird. He's worth discussing in my opinion. I mean, I don't have it on my list, but it's just not as good. It's 55. It's 74 overall. Shadow is 55. It's not good. And how many people have a perfect Heatran, right? That's a Shadow or close to it. It loses to, like, you do have great matchups in Zacian, right? But it loses to too many other things in the meta, right? Kyogre, Palkia, Ho-Oh, these are really, really common, right? All the ground types, Reshiram, Zekrom, like these are way too many things, right? For a steel type to lose to this many dragons is not great. You lose to Eternatus running Flamethrower, non-stat Flamethrower, you know? And it's throwing neutral Flamethrower. It's a little too hard to use in my mind. As someone that has a Heatran built, right, I would love for it to be good, but that's why I didn't include it. It's a little too far off the meta in my mind. Not to say you can't find wins with it, but there's just better steel types. There's better answers, right? It's a fire type that loses to Ho-Oh. Why would you ever not use Ho-Oh if they both win like pretty much the same stuff and they both lose the same stuff, but you lose to opposing fire types, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Wait, is there going to be a Mega Heatran coming out later? I actually, it must be a new Mega, right? I actually didn't realize. But yeah, I mean, it's so good to, like, I think it's good to have, right? Especially for like maybe if we ever have limited Master League formats or whatever. But in the DLC, okay, yeah. But I think right now, as it stands in this meta, it's not it. And this is the thing, right? Master League metas ebb and flow a lot. Like Kyogre was not meta relevant for like over a year. But once the Crown Forms came out, they didn't really buff it much. Obviously, it got Avalanche recently, but like they didn't buff it much and it still became relevant because it just has a much better place in this current meta. Yeah. Before, the meta was like dragons and then the Crowsman fusion forms, and it wasn't really that great there. But once these Crown Forms came out, Kyogre ended up being a really good answer to a lot of these because it's good. It beats Crown Forms, it beats Ho-Oh, which beats Crown Forms, and it beats ground types, which you beat Crown Forms. So you're now a triple threat. Exactly. Yeah, Lunala. Exactly. Yeah. I think another issue with Lunala is it was just not very accessible until they brought it into Raids, which was nice. Yveltal, this is a nice one because it did get the Oblivion Wing buff. It is now 17th overall. This is actually really solid in my mind. I actually like it a lot. I probably put it somewhere around here. I think it's not as consistent as Xerneas, but it's very, very strong. And because Lunala is pretty present, I actually like it a lot. I played a lot of battles with it in Go Battle Week, and it's quite good. Necrozma Dark Dawn Wings, I don't know. This I actually don't like as much. I probably put this in the fringe meta, actually. I don't like it as much in this current meta because Yveltal's around, and it doesn't have the coverage that Lunala has. Lunala's nice because you have the Moonblast coverage, but like you don't have that with the Dawn Wings. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's like reliable, and I think you're better off running a Lunala or some other thing with ghost coverage, right, or dark coverage. Yeah, that was Dawn Wings. Ho-Oh is 19th overall, but Ho I actually think is really, really good. Ho just has like a lot of play in my mind, so I probably put it here. Yeah, it's just super safe, right? You beat this, you beat the seals, like you beat the fairies. There's just so many matchups that you just hard win, and you have the hard hitting Brave Bird for even bad matchups. Like there's so many times where I'm like against a Palkia, I'm like chilling with Ho. Yes, the rankings might not show as much, but the rankings don't always show everything. But also top 20 is still really solid. Necrozma Dustmane, again, kind of a similar issue as Dawn Wings. It's just a little bit hard to play. There's so many things that beat Steel type still. Yeah, Meloetta is just not it, I think. I probably put it around here. It's just like walled off from the Steel types, right? And it's like bulky, and I have a Shundo from my golden bottle cap. That's what I use my golden bottle cap on. It's just too hard to play in this current meta. Yes, I'm going to make a Mega Master League tier list. So I'm going to make one before the Mega Master League meta, which is like a few months from now. But I don't want to make it too early because like things could change or they could release new stuff, right? New Megas even. Okay. It's funny because Kyogre's all the way at 23, but I actually think it's quite solid. It's quite good. And we have Latios Shadow. It's not great. I think it's okay. I probably put this somewhere in like, it's like a little bit of a cheese category in my mind. I think Latias is even worse, honestly. Latias Shadow, I mean, it's very similar in its coverage. So these are all pretty like, I feel fairly cheese picks in my mind. There's just better dragons. In a dragon meta, there's just better dragons you could run. Orsphere is still no joke though, right? If especially if you have it against the steel type. Golden Go so underrated with Power Gem right now. Can punish Lunala safe swap with Astonish and dominate against her. Yeah. Actually, I did face one, and I actually think it's not bad. And then typing solid, even though it's frail. Because I see if his new moves will make Blacephalon viable. Oh yeah, Blacephalon could be an interesting one too. It might be a little too frail for Open Master League, but I wouldn't be surprised if I lose to one. Meloetta form change. Oh, I'm not even familiar with that, but that could be cool. Yeah, I mean, I do have the Shundo, so I'm ready for it. Jirachi somehow made it into the top 30. 28 overall. Confusion, Doom's Desire, Orsphere. The problem is I don't really think there's too much that has, like, people have 100. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I lose Wi-Fi? Am I still here? All right, am I? Okay, I think I lost Wi-Fi for a second, but just let me know if I disconnect or not. Golden Go is at 26 overall, just like Rebel Waller said. Golden Go is quite nice with Hex, Shadow Ball, Focus Blast. Yeah, I think it's I'm here. Okay, good. Yeah, I think Golden Go is pretty solid Pokemon. I mean, Shadow Ball buff is nice for it. Focus Blast also helps a lot. You could also run it with Power Gem as an option to cover against Ho-Oh to really surprise him. I think it's okay. I don't know if it's like super relevant, but I think I would probably put it somewhere in the fringe meta category. I think it's usable. Probably somewhere around here. I see more of it than Eternatus for what it's worth. It's not as bulky though, which is the main drawback, but it could be okay. Alter, Dialga, Shadow. Obviously not everyone has a 100% Shadow, but it's at 32 for the non-Shadow. I think it's still solid. It's just not as good, you know? Like, it's just one of those Pokemon where it's like, it's not as good as the Origin, so you just run the Origin. But it could be okay if you don't have the Origin. It still hits hard. The issue with Draco Meteor is you have to debuff yourself, whereas Roar Time you don't. So that's, you know, obviously a drawback that the Altered form has that the Shadow doesn't. Or sorry, that the Origin doesn't. Solgaleo, 29th overall. Typing's good. It's okay. Again, it's just like there's just better steel types, there's better fire types. I probably put it somewhere in the fringe meta category as well. Maybe even after Eternatus for what it's worth. Like, a lot of these are interchangeable in many ways. I think it's okay, right? But Kyogre being around, Ho-Oh being super relevant, it doesn't really hit that hard into the fairy, like into Zacian, and Zacian only takes neutral from the Iron Head as well. A lot of the relevant dragons have fire coverage, right? Reshiram, Kyurem White. Yeah, it's just a little bit harder to use in my mind. Also, you know, you're not fantastic into Yveltal, right? As a steal into flying, but the problem is the dark type's just doing too much damage. No, I know, but it's just it has fire coverage, right? A lot of people use it for the fire spin and like as a check to a lot of the steals. So that's mainly why I say that. But yeah, I'm aware it is Psychic Steel. Also, like, it's just a worse Psychic Steel than Metagross right now in my mind, right? So you would just run Metagross if you really want to. Zygarde is still quite nice. It's not as good in this meta, but I think it's still good. Xerneas getting a buff is not great for it. You know, Zamazenta with the Ice Fang is still going to do a good chunk of damage. I think it's still good, though. I just don't think it's as good as before. It's still an absolute bulk monster, and in the right situation, it just does so much. Also, Kyogre getting Avalanche makes it a little bit more annoying because they get to that double super effective move way faster than before, so you have to consider shielding. Yeah, pseudo fire type. Yes. To be fair, I didn't really clarify what I was saying as well. Florges, it's too frail for Open Master League in my mind. Yeah, I think it's okay, but I'd probably put it somewhere around here. It's not unusable. It's just there's just better options. It's just not bulky enough in my mind. I did try using it a lot during like Mega Master League, and it could be okay in the right situations, but it just you have to shield even Palkia. That's the thing. You could lose a Palkia in the two shields, which is really awkward, especially the shield in Moonblast, right? Yeah. Annihilate, Shadow Annihilate at 33, 40th overall. It's not great. I'll probably put it in the probably bad category for what it's worth. It's just too hard to use. You know, yes, if you get down to steel type, it could be okay, but you kind of have to shield everything still. So, not ideal. Tokus, 35th overall. Probably I put it in the probably bad category. It's maybe only a little bit more reliable than Florges, but if that even. The Orchester's nice, but there's just so many things that beat like flying types and fairy types in Master League. And again, just can't really match up against the legendaries and mythicals as well, in my mind. Primarina. I actually like Primarina a lot. Primarina has a lot of great coverage. Palkia being really strong. It has coverage into like, you know, you resist the water damage from Kyogre. If you've run to Urshifu, it's really good. Like, it's the most reliable Charmer. In fact, it's probably the only reliable Charmer in Master League. I actually think it's really solid still, despite this ranking. Because the stat product isn't great, but the typing's good, and the coverage is good. And, yeah, those two things alone help it a lot. So, where would I put Primarina? I'd probably put it maybe around here. Here, maybe? It's actually kind of good. It's got coverage in Hoa as well, right? Like, as a traditional fairy answer, it's got play. Like, it's yes, it's a lot more frail because it's not legendary and everything, but don't let the rankings fool you on that one. The amount of times I won games because they safe swapped Palkia and I just locked my Primarina into it and was able to hit back with all the Hydrokin and Disarming Voice to whatever came in next. It's quite nice. Tapu Lele. That's okay. I don't think it's really meta relevant. It's okay. I'd probably put it somewhere in the fringe meta category for what it's worth. Maybe like here. We also have the other Tapus that I'll just like throw in here. Tapu Koko. Again, there's some teams who are going to court break with this. So I actually don't think it's like the craziest thing. But I don't particularly think it's great. Tapu Bulu feels even weirder at times. I'd also probably put Tapu Bulu here. It's just so frail. For something that resists like everything from like a Palkia, it's still like not in the best spot. And its coverage is like completely walled off from steel types, right? So, but the Tapus are, I mean, I have 100% of like a lot of these, but I tried using them and they're just not fun to use or usable in my mind. Landorus is at 43, Therian form. It's okay. I probably put it somewhere in the fringe meta category. I think it's better than Groudon, but the Stone Edge coverage is nice for Ho, but it's, you know, it's just a little bit outclassed right now. The moveset coverage is kind of nice, though. Maybe put it right here. I think maybe you could argue that it's, like, bottom of the meta, but I don't think it's that strong. I actually think Rhyperior is actually a little bit more annoying still for it. Rhyperior with the Rock Wrecker, Mud Slap, Breaking Swipe. I actually think Rhyperior could be okay. It does have a lot of answers and coverage to things. Do I put it in meta? Maybe. It could be solid. I think I'll put it here for now. I think it's on the fringe meta side of things because there's just so many things that still could hit kind of back at. No, actually, no. I'll put it at the bottom meta. I think this is actually still very respectable. Walling off almost everything that Ho has unless they have some weird moveset with Solar Beam or Earthquake. You have coverage in the steel types. The fast attack pressure is still something, right? It's just that they nerf Breaking Swipe, so you can't really bait very easily. That's the biggest issue. But the Stone Edge or the Rock Wrecker is still nice. You could run it with Superpower even, so those are all great options. So, and there's just so many teams that end up being weak to it because they just don't respect that Rhyperior is going to be in the meta as relevant as much. But I think it is still. Oh, wait. Oh, I have both of these. Okay. Well, this one's just not great. Oh, wait. Sorry. I put the wrong Landorus. I'll put this one here, I guess. I didn't mean to put this one. But we'll put it here. Yeah. I think, like, there's no reason to ever run this Landorus if you have the Therian form. Let me actually just sim this and see. So the Therian form is at 43 overall. The Landorus form is at 130. Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's, yeah. I mean, it's not like you can't win against Steel types with it, but just there's no reason not to run the Therian form. Especially without Sandseer Storm. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? Okay, a few other things here. So, Urshifu. We have two different versions. Single Strike is ranked slightly higher than Rapid Strike, but again, this is just a simulation, so it doesn't say much. Sucker Punch, Dynamic Punch, Payback. Sucker Punch is a great move, but just like the coverage is a little bit too mono. I think you can make it work, but I think it's still hard to make it work. I'll put it here. I think most people also opt for the Urshifu Rapid Strike, which I think makes a lot more sense. The typing's nice too, right? With the water typing as well, you're a little bit better into stuff like Palkia. You resist medical damage from Zacian. The counter is nice too with Dynamic Punch. Just hits really hard. It can core break a lot of teams. I would put this probably somewhere in the meta category. It's still very, very relevant in my mind. Maybe here. Yeah, maybe here. Wait, which one's which? I might have done the wrong thing. No, this is a Rapid Strike, sorry. I always get these two confused. Yeah, we'll do it. Single Strike is this one. This is Rapid Strike. Water fighting, dark fighting. What's up, Phoenix? We love Urshifu around these parts for sure. Hopefully you made the Rapid Strike one and not the Single Strike one. I know Tomahawk UK built the Single Strike one because someone misled him and told him it was better, but it did not end up being better. Dragonite's Shadow is 44 overall, 57 for the non-Shadow. But 44 for Shadow, I mean, again, it's not how many people have 100% of these, right? It's just, they're just better dragons. I don't think it's unusable. I just think they're just better ones, you know. I'll probably put it here. Again, not unusable, but they're just better dragon types. Especially, like, legendary dragons, right? That's just hard to compete with. The Zacian hero form is actually not the worst. It's just kind of outclassed from the crown form, but it's not terrible. It's really not terrible. Having faced one before, like, it's really not that bad. It has great coverage still. It's just that it's just hard to justify using that over the crown form. But I don't think it's actually, like, unusable. I'd probably put it here. Alright, like, when you face one, it's not, like, the easiest thing to face. Because the coverage is so nice. You made Rapid Strike for Master League and Single Strike for... Oh, nice, nice, nice. That's smart, that's smart. And you can always upgrade the Single Strike one, right? If you need to. Yeah, hopefully they bring him into raids one day, because that would be good. Mewtwo has dropped quite a bit. It's still 52 overall, so not bad. But... it's just fallen off, in my mind, by quite a bit. Psycho Cut, Side Strike, Shadow Ball. It's not bad. You could also swap out the Shadow Ball for other coverage. It's just a little too hard to use, in my mind. I'd still put it over a lot of these other things, though. Like this, I guess. But this is very... Mewtwo used to be a staple in Master League. It's just kind of get power crept. And it's such an interesting thing, right? Because they never nerfed it. But because... they actually buffed it with a Confusion buff, even. But... it's just... like... the more they release, right? Especially these fusion forms and these crown forms, it's just the less relevant some of these things are. Which I don't really mind, because Mewtwo used to be stupid meta relevant. It was Mewtwo, Togekiss, Dialga altered. Were like this same trio team that people used in, I believe, the preseason or season 1 of Go Battle League. And it was relevant for over like 10 seasons. Until finally, like, they started buffing some of these other things. You know, Mewtwo has definitely had its time to shine. And hey, when Mega Mewtwo comes out, Mega Mewtwo in Master League could be kind of crazy. So, you know, it'll have a time to shine against. Maybe. I don't know if Gyarados is too oppressive for it or not, but I wouldn't be surprised. Lugia. 13th overall. I don't know how I missed this one. I think it's okay. Dragon Tail, Aeroblast, Fly. It's like good into a lot of these dragon types, but there's a lot of ice types that hit back at it. A lot of steel types that resist everything it has. Definitely on the more fringe meta side of things, but not too bad. I actually don't think it's too bad. I think it might be somewhere around here. Yeah. And then we got Keldeo to round it out. Keldeo, I am just not convinced by this thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Back when I was running Rhyperior before they nerfed Breaking Swipe, I was beating Keldeo with Rhyperior. And I'm like double weak to Aqua Jet, you know. But it's just that because it has Poison Jab and like what other fast attack does it have? I don't think it has Low Kick. You're never gonna run Low Kick. I think if this thing got counter, Karate Chop, something like that, yes, it could be better relevant like overnight. But at this moment in time, it's a worse Urshifu Rapid Strike. So because of that, I think it could be usable at times, but not usable enough. Not usable enough in my mind. I'd probably put it in the fringe meta category, somewhere around here. Yeah, probably around there. But Mewtwo and Flamethrower could work. Yeah, I just haven't faced it. It doesn't feel as potent as it used to with all the steel types, dog types, ghost types running around. It's hard to use. But anyway, that's gonna be my Master League tier list. It's obviously a small tier list than Ultra League and Great League because there's just less options. But you know. this is my thoughts on it. I think it's a pretty solid tier list overall. A lot of these things, B and below, can be like slightly interchangeable within their tiers, I think. There's an argument. There's absolutely an argument to be made that Shadow Tyranitar or Tyranitar in general can be bumped up to meta. I think that is actually a very possible argument that you can make. I mean, let's think about this, right? You have play into this, you have play into this, you beat this, or you have play into it. I mean, mostly don't beat it. You beat this, you beat this, you have plenty of play into this. You technically have play with Stone Edge and the Fairies, but let's just not count that because they were probably in Shield, right? You beat this, you have play into this, and you can beat it. You can beat this. Honestly, screw it. Let's pump this up. I actually think it's actually not that bad. Let's put it here. Let's put it here. I actually think it could be quite solid. Like, you just can't justify that. It beats so many things in the A and S tier, and you can just... like, it's more frail, for sure, right? Especially Shadow. But the typing is so nice. The typing is both good and bad. Because you're super weak to so many typings, like Steel, Water, Grass, Fighting. But then the typing's so good into, like, Psychic, Ghosts. What else? Psychic Ghosts are the main ones, right? But it does resist a lot of things. It's just relevant in Master League is different sort of like Poison, but there's not really a lot of Poison. So I think Kieran White, yes, Kieran White's definitely stronger than Kieran Black, mainly because of Fusion Flare in itself. Fusion Flare is so nice. It covers the steel types. You can't easily come into a Kieran White with a Zacian or with a Fairy type or with a Steel type. You can come into Kieran Black with Zamazenta, Zacian, no problem. Reshiram, Lunala, Zekrom might be a tier of their own between A and S. No, I actually think you're right. I do think that's a good point. I mean, Dialga, you can make the argument too. Because Lunala is super safe, right? Zekrom, I don't know about as much. Zekrom feels like the slightly weaker of the two compared to Reshiram. But there's definitely times where Zekrom just completely sweeps me, right? Resisting everything that Ho has for the most part, right? Outside of like the random ones that have Earthquake, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think you could definitely make the argument though, because Zekrom in the right situation is pretty nutty too. I just like the fact that you have to throw close combat at, well, I guess you have to throw close combat at Zekrom too, but Reshiram in particular. But yeah, Reshiram's nice too because you resist fairy damage, so even against a Primarina, Charm Primarina is actually not too bad. So anyway, that's my tier list. Hopefully it resonates with you all, and if not, that's all good. Let me know down below. So I appreciate you all stopping by, whether you're watching the YouTube recap or the live stream. Hopefully this is good, but feel free to drop your own takes down below. But yeah, this will be my last tier list for the season until Mega Master League comes out. So stay on the lookout for that, but I will drop that before, sometime right before Mega Master League, just so that, if I drop it now, things can change, right? If they release new Pokemon, I don't really know. But anyway, hopefully this is helpful. And best of luck in your own Master League battles. And if you're a fellow Shadow Tyranitar user like me, then appreciate you all for being players of culture. But until then, I will catch you all later. Hope you have a great weekend. And tomorrow I will be streaming a full day of sets with Shadow Tyranitar in Master League. Should be a fun time. We'll see how it goes, right? Until then, peace out.